So I am recording this because this is kind of partly the reason why we're doing this recap as well. So we can record the presentation and then we can put it up on YouTube. So anyone in the future can just go back and watch the presentation. So usually we'll take questions throughout the presentation, but today we're just going to go straight through the presentation. So it's just me and Zach on the video. So no one else is in it. You don't have to worry about any privacy or anything like that.
Are you both happy with that, just in case you do say anything? Yeah. And cool. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I am now sharing my screen. Okay, view, present. So welcome to part one of our goal setting and achieving series. In this presentation, we're going through how to set meaningful and powerful goals. This writing exercise here, writing for clarity, is something we do at our normal meetings at the beginning of each of them, just to give us more clarity around our lives and where we're going. And so if you'd like to attend one of our meetings, then please come on and we'll do this together and we can share what we discover with one another. So setting meaningful and powerful goals. Why set goals? I'm just going to move my camera over a little bit. Goals give us clarity, so it is important to set goals. Writing things down has lots of benefits, so it's best to get your desires onto paper. Like writing a to-do list, writing down our goals always allows us to look at them from a different perspective that is less daunting. If you have a lot of things to do in a day and they're all jumbling around your head, you can get very stressed out, very confused. And if you just take a pen and paper and write them down, it just gets you clarity. You can say, oh, I've got them all down in front of me now. They're not bouncing around in my head. All that stress is relieved, and then you just go through them and tick them off. So if you have all these desires, all these ideas about things you want to do bouncing around in your head, then being able to write them down just gets them out of your head and brings order into your thinking, brings clarity into your thinking. And we would advise writing with a pen and paper, because when you write with a pen and paper and not on a keyboard, there's so many muscles, and the connection between mind and body is so deep that you're actually bringing yourself into alignment with those goals as you write with a pen or pencil. We need an aim, because when we move towards our desired end, our incentive and reward system in our bodies kicks in and releases positive hormones, which makes us feel good. And that is why when we make progress, we feel happy. Here we have outlined types of goals. We just went through this from highly detailed specific goals to very broad spectrum non-specific goals. So you could write a goal that's got the exact thing you want, like you need to finish your essay assignment with at least 3,000 words by this time on this day, because that is a very specific thing that you need to do in a certain time. And then going down this spectrum, so you could have an idea of a thing that you want. So this could be, you want to get a new car, and you have an idea of what car you want, but you're not sure exactly what it is. So I want to get a new car by June 8th this year. And then going down is you could have the exact thing without the time and date. So you know exactly what car you want. I want to get a Jaguar F-Type sometime. I'm not sure when, but that's what I want. I want to get that Jaguar F-Type. And then moving down more and more broad spectrum is the idea of the thing without the time and date. So you could say, I want to get a new car. I'm not sure what car, and I'm not sure when I'm going to get it, but I know I will. So that's that getting broader and broader. And you can use these for different areas of your life. And the most broad spectrum and a really, really beautiful way to move forward in life in some areas is just to describe and set an aim on how you want to feel. Maybe you want to feel more secure, or maybe you want to feel more inspired. So that could just be a goal. So, and you could put a time and date on that. You could say, this month, this week, I want to feel more inspired. And as you start to do that, that's going to influence your subconscious mind and influence your attention to look for those things that will then bring that to you. Now we're going to get into setting meaningful goals, which now Zach's going to come in and we're going to get into the meditation part of this.
Okay, so gaining clarity on our goals through meditation. I don't believe Christina, but I am no, sorry, I'm not taking questions this time, not on this session, sorry. Okay, so of course, meditation is a great tool to clear the mind and gain clarity in our thinking. And in a moment, we're going to go through this kind of guided meditation, writing for clarity exercise about our goals, but it's not going to go quite as deep as it could because of the amount of time we have. It's something that really, I'm just going to show the practice of it to everyone here today, so that they can then take that practice and do it in their own time. So the purpose of this today is to gain clarity on our goals and of course establish whether the goals are right for us or not and that we come up with, and also a great way to encourage inspiration and to encourage new ideas to come to us. So if we go to the next slide, please, Chris.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to do an automatic writing meditation. And as I said, to really get the best clarity we can possibly get in meditation, we really want to get to like a trance meditation state. I'm sure many people here listening on the replay as well will be able to tap into this and know that the best clarity that we can really ever tap into from that higher consciousness aspect of ourselves that we all have, from our soul level, in a way of looking at it this way, and even in our subconscious mind as well. It's like if we can get to that kind of meditative state where it's just before we get into sleep, but not to the point where we're actually asleep. It's that state of consciousness, that kind of brainwave state that we can tap in to all that is and the infinite well of knowledge that there is and wisdom there is to tap into and to receive downloads from and inspiration. So we're going to do about a 2-minute meditation to really get into this kind of as close to trance state as we can. We're going to get nowhere near in 2 minutes what is ideal, but it's just to really show the practice of it. So what I'd like everyone to do now is, if you have a notepad of some description, like is to be able to position it on your desk in such a way where you can have your eyes closed, or just something around you, whether it's a desk or whatever it is, in such a way that you can have your eyes closed, but then also just be able to write while you've got your eyes closed on the paper in front of you. Okay. So if everyone's got that ready now, yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do, let's just close our eyes. We're going to get into a gentle meditative state now. Okay, so just breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, or whichever way is most comfortable for you. Also breathing in through the nose and out through the nose as well. It can be very peaceful. So just continue deep breathing and just getting into this calm and centered space. Now, when we breathe in on the next inhalation, we're going to focus our mind to the top of our head. When we breathe in, I'm going to breathe in that energy. And when we're breathing into this oxygen, this energy that we're breathing in, I'm going to bring that energy to the top of our head. And then on the exhalation, we're going to breathe it out. And all of that energy, we're going to breathe away any tensions, any stress, any niggles that we've got going on at the top of our head. So breathing in to the top of our head, breathing out from the top of our head. Okay, now coming down to the lower part of your head. Just let any tensions dissolve out of you with the breath. Now to the neck. Now to the shoulders. Now to the upper chest and the upper arms. Now to our chest and arms. Now to our abdomen and our lower arms. Now to our groin and to our hands. Now to our thighs. Now to our knees. Now to our calves. And now to our ankles and our feet. And now the whole body all at once. And now just continue gently breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Now, this practice is based on the idea that you already have come today with a goal in mind that you may have, that you want to achieve. If you don't have a goal in mind, then you can take what you've learned from this practice and practice it in your own time when you do have a goal, if you wish. But for those that do have one goal in mind for this particular practice today, what I would like you to do now, what I invite you to do now, is to coming back to your center and now project your consciousness using your mind's eye. You can use your mind's eye to project your consciousness and become familiar with this version of yourself in the linear future that has already achieved this goal that you have in mind right now. You can observe that future version of yourself either in the first person or the third person. This version of you. What we want to do now the goal now is to build a relationship with this version of ourselves that we've just come across. And what we're going to do now is we're going to play out this timeline in our mind's eye from where we are right now, this current version. And we're going to play out this timeline of where we are now, all the way to where that version of ourselves is in the future. So just play out this timeline now in your mind's eye of you achieving this goal, of you going through this and achieving this goal. And we're going to spend about 45 seconds on this, okay? And just write down any kind of inspiration that may come to you, any feelings or thoughts that pop up. Okay, I'd like to invite everyone to come back to their center and taking one last deep breath in and out. And opening their eyes. So for the sake of this particular presentation today, we're not going to recap over or do any reflecting of what we've found, but going through this process that we've just been through, I feel like I did it slightly differently today to how I did it last time, so that'll be interesting to compare. But this process, it can give us a really good sense of sorry, one moment. Yeah, I hope that's really helped everyone to be able to gain some clarity on that future version of themselves that they're able to build some more relationship with, and to gain some more clarity about how they could go about achieving their goals and whether that goal is still right for them. And maybe even during the timeline, observing of the timelines, how we initially may have thought we may go about achieving this goal. For observing that timeline, you may have seen something different, perhaps a different way of achieving that goal. And even for observing us achieving that goal as well, it can even change. The goal itself can actually change. So that's my part that I've just finished. This went slightly differently to last week. So I want to, over to you, Chris.
Great, thanks for that, Zach. Yeah, that was helpful because some thoughts popped up that helped me gain clarity around what I could do in regards to a certain goal. The first time we did it a bit differently. So you can do this though. I mean, that only took 5 minutes. If you just go into a meditative state and then focus on because it says here, discover 1 to 3 goals through meditation. So
this is the thing. I'm really sorry, folks. I've actually realized the reason why I kind of stuttered there for a bit was because we actually did this first presentation. It was about 3 weeks ago now. I've actually mixed up this exercise we just done with another exercise I think we either did 1 or 2 presentations ago. So I got a little bit confused there. So yeah, that's why I've it's not gone how I wanted, but there's always next time. Sorry about that.
It's all good. Oh, you still did part 2 of this.
Yeah, it is. I think what I've just done was the process we did in part 2. So it's not the right one.
Well, but it's there. We got discover 1 to 3 goals and then play out the timeline. So it's all right. It's all good. But yeah, it's quite simple to do. What I did last time was as we were thinking about it, to trigger a thought, I just started writing how I would usually write a goal. So I write goals in present tense. So I was in a meditative state, and I just started writing, I am so happy and grateful now that, just to trigger a thought that would come up. And then that did trigger, I ended up writing 3 things down that I felt really clear on and had a good connection to those things that I wrote down. So it's a great thing to do. And I mean, this still helped me today. It's just, you can go away and take that with you for next time. Okay, so continuing with meaningful goals. A meaningful goal is really a goal that has deep meaning behind it, your reasons behind it. So we need a meaningful reason why we want to achieve our goals. And this is your why for doing this thing. So you need to ask yourself, what are your real reasons behind that goal? We might have things we want to do that we maybe don't feel that motivated to do, or don't feel that much clarity on, or we don't feel that emotionally engaged with it. So we need to ask ourselves what our real reason is behind this goal. And we should define this on pen and paper. And we want to include how it will affect other people, how it will affect the world as a whole, and include how it will make you feel once you've achieved it. And the more emotionally charged you are around this, is the better. It's going to help you fuel that fire to achieving that goal. We're going to do a short writing exercise now. This shouldn't take too long. It's called 7 levels of why. So we all need to have a goal in mind, and we're just going to put down 1 or 2 words that symbolize the goal, or I want to do this, just to symbolize it. So I'm just going to write something down now. Okay, once you've got that down, I want you to ask yourself why you want to achieve this. So put a 1 at the side and then say, why do I want to achieve this? And we're going to do 7 times. So once you have your answer, you're then going to put a 2 and then ask yourself why you want to achieve that thing. And then once you have that answer, you write a 3 and ask yourself why you want to achieve that thing. And we're going to do this 7 times. And we might find that halfway through things really shift. And by the time you get to 7, you're going to have something that's so disconnected from your original goal that it's going to be quite mind-blowing, but it's going to give you a very, very profound level of understanding of why you're doing the things you want to do. So we're going to take a few minutes now to do this. I haven't got, Zach, can you put a timer on for like 5 minutes?
Yeah, sure. Just to recap that as well, just in case it's not very clear. It's like, so for example, my goal would be I want to help people. And then my first why out of the 7 will be because it feels amazing to help people. And then my second will be, well, why does it feel amazing to help people? And then it carries on like that, like a waterfall of whys.
Or why do you want to feel amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, in that way, personal to you. Yeah.
Right. So timer is,
yeah. I wasn't sure if I was that clear about that. All right, 5 minutes from now.
5 minutes. Okay. Right. That is starting now.
Is that 5 minutes?
10 seconds to go.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
So as I was writing that, I really gained clarity around also how we should be doing this exercise. So what a good way to write it out on each level is to start because I want to. So the first thing is your goal and say, why do I want to do this? And then you write, because I want to this. And then once you've got that, you can say, why do I want to do that? Because I want to this. So it's about your desires, about the reason why you want to do these things. And I got from something very disconnected because my last one, because I want to be able to connect with bright people. Whereas my 7th level, usually I get something like, because I want my life to be meaningful, which is very deep. And once I got, because I want my life to be meaningful on number 6, and then I had to ask myself why I wanted my life to be meaningful, which was very tricky to answer. It can get very deep. Sometimes it can switch from a positive. So I want to do this because I want to help people. About number 3 or 4, it can switch because I want to do this because I don't want this in my life anymore. It can switch to a negative connotation to it. It's not a bad thing. It's funny how it can switch like that sometimes. Very deep and powerful exercise we can do though. All right, moving on. Hopefully you had enough time. People watching this video can obviously pause it, and the people on the call right now, hopefully we've had enough time to do that. We can answer your questions at the end of this, at the end of the presentation and the recording. Setting powerful goals. Is a big or small goal better to set? Our goals need to be big enough to inspire us, but not seem unattainable. Goals that don't challenge us may seem boring, and we might find trouble finding motivation to do something. If you set a goal to do something that is only just beyond what you're already doing, you may find that you're not very motivated to go ahead and do it because you're just doing the same thing over again. If a goal that is too big is overwhelming, we can break it down into smaller chunks that make up that big goal, which we're going to talk more about later as well, of breaking up those goals. Who do you need to be to achieve your goals? We need to be able to articulate the type of person we need to become in order to achieve our goals. Who we are going to be when we achieve our goal should be a goal in itself. And we need to realize that we need to become the person that would have what we want in order to achieve that desired end. So if I want to achieve something that is beyond my current situation, my current standards, something that I've never achieved before, I'm going to have to do things that I've never done before. I'm going to have to think in a different way. I'm going to have to feel in a different way. I'm going to have to act in a different way. And that's how we need to define ourselves. What would we be doing on a day-to-day basis? How would we be thinking? How would we be feeling? And then we need to become that person. And once we can become that person, those things that we're trying to achieve will naturally come to us. Which goals are most important? We need to decide which goals we should focus on and give our attention to the most. If we have too many goals and we're not clear about which ones are most important, then we can be confused and scattered. We should know which areas of our life are most important to us. So a great exercise you can do here is you write down 10 things that are important to you. 10 areas of life. It could be family, friends, spirituality, personal growth, job, career, any area that you like in your life. And then afterwards, you rank them. You say, you go through them and then you put a 1 next to the one that's most important to you, 2, the one after that, all the way down. So then you have a rank order of your values, what you value in life, and then you can then set goals around those values. We should aim for goals that challenge us and make us grow out of our comfort zone. If we're not growing while we're trying to achieve our goal, then what is the real point in trying to achieve our goal? We need to be able to grow as a human being. And when you go outside your comfort zone, when you grow, when you set a goal that's above the standards you've currently set for yourself, and you move outside your comfort zone, your awareness grows, your consciousness grows, you grow as a human being, and you never go back. You never go back to that level. We should aim for the highest good. The greater the aim, the more positive reinforcement when we make progress, which is what I talked about earlier, that I can never remember this term. When you make progress to things towards something that you're trying to achieve, your body releases positive hormones and it makes us feel good. It makes us feel happy. We should choose something hard and heroic that challenges us, and we should choose something meaningful rather than pleasurable, because pleasure is fleeting, but meaning lasts forever. We're going to talk about something about, let's see if I can get to this. Yeah. So how far into the future should we look? When I'm talking about, sorry, I skipped too far. When I'm talking about something meaningful rather than pleasurable, a good thing to do here to gain perspective is to imagine yourself much, much older. Like imagine yourself on your deathbed. Sounds right, a bit morbid, but in an inspiring way. Imagine yourself, you're about to die, you have all your family, they're all giving you love, and you're looking back on your life. And you're looking back on the things you've achieved, and you're looking back on the goals you set. And you can contemplate the goals you're thinking about setting now from that perspective. And it gives you a much different perspective. Those goals that are pleasurable or those goals that are meaningful. Because at the end of your life, which are going to be more important to you? Now we're going to do another short writing exercise. Zach, what time is it? How much time have we got? I can't see because I'm sharing my screen. I can't hear you.
20 to 8.
20 to 8. Okay. We might not have time to do this. Well, yeah, we have time. It's fine. It's fine. Hopefully. What we're going to do here is a belief and excitement level exercise around desires and goals. This is just a fun exercise to do, really. What we're going to do is write down 5 things that we would love to achieve in the next 6 months if money wasn't an object and we knew we couldn't fail. If money wasn't an object and we knew we couldn't fail, what would we like to achieve for us on a personal level? Not on a worldwide level, we'd love for world peace, but what we would like to achieve, the things we could do in our family, like things we'd like to achieve, things we'd like to experience. Those things we'd like to do, we think we could, not we think we could do. If money wasn't an object and we knew we couldn't fail, in the next 6 months, what would we do? 5 things. Okay, because we're running a bit short on time, because we set this meeting to an hour, I'm going to stop us there. People watching the video can pause it. And if you've just got 2, 3, 4 people on the call right now, that's on the Zoom right now, that's absolutely fine. It's just giving you an idea of how this exercise works. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go down the side of these, and we're going to give them a rating from 0 to 10 on your excitement level about this happening, or if it had happened, how excited would you be? You're just going to go down the side, 1 to 10, 10 being like mind blown, couldn't be more excited, bouncing off the walls, 0 being don't care. We're just going to go down these quickly and just give them a rating 1 to 10. How excited you would be if this had happened. It doesn't have to just be excitement. This could be how proud you feel, how accomplished you feel. Excitement is just a good word to describe this. Okay, now we've got our rankings of excitement. We're going to rank these now on a level of belief. 10 being, we know there's no doubt in our mind that this could happen. 0 being, it's never going to happen in a million years. Well, it's never going to happen in 6 months. Okay, so then we just maybe put a comma next to your excitement level scores, and then put your belief level score 0 to 10 next to that. That this could happen in the next 6 months, in reality. Now, when we've done that, we are going to now add these up. So we add up our excitement level and we add up our belief level, creating an overall score. 8, 16, 15, 14, 16, 10, 8. You might want to underline those ones because that's the overall score. Now, what we're looking for is something that's in a sweet spot here with a high excitement and high belief. So if you have something that's got 16 overall more, then it's looking good. For that is something that you should pursue because it's something that you're motivated to do. You'll feel great if you do it, and you also believe that it's possible. Ideally, if we're doing this writing exercise, we want to do this with 8 to 10 of these. Take a little bit more time doing it. Write down more things that you'd love to achieve. It's a fun exercise to do. It might not be the most meaningful goals that you have down here, but very powerful indeed. Now, how far should we look into the future? As I said just a minute ago, to gain perspective, it's a great way to look back as if you're much older than you are now, and look back as if you had already achieved the goals and how you'd feel about them, or which goals are most important to you. A good plan for setting goals is 6 months, 12 months, 3 years, and 5 years. Later on, we're going to do, in one of the meetings, we're going to do vision writing, future vision writing, where we can look into the future through these intervals. And it's great to set goals. So in 6 months, I'm going to have this, this, this. In 12 months, I'm going to have this, 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 or I'm going to be this person. In 3 years, I'm going to have this and be this person. And in 5 years, I'm going to have this and be this person. It helps you to join the dots between maybe now and 5 years' time. If you have a goal that you'd like to achieve in 5 years, it helps you to plan a game plan along the way. Best sort of goals to set. How many goals should we set? Okay, yeah, that was mine. The best sort of goals to set. I believe it is best to write your goals in present tense. When you write things in present tense, it influences your subconscious mind to think that you've already achieved it. If I say, I have already achieved this goal, your subconscious mind acts like a computer. So you're programming it to believe that it's already done. You're programming it to believe that it's possible for you to achieve this goal. And the more you review your goals, the more you look at them, the more you influence and impress those ideas upon your subconscious mind, the more you're going to believe it's possible, the more familiar your subconscious and your paradigm, which is your belief system, is going to become with you being able to achieve the goal. The best sort of goal for you to set depends on your personal preference and where you are in your life and situation. So it depends on what it is and who you are and what's going on in your life. So if, like I suggested earlier, if you're a student and you have to finish an essay in time, you need to know exactly how many words you need, and you need to know exactly the time and date you have to have it finished. But you can have a different idea if you want to have a goal around your relationship. If you're already in a relationship, or if you are looking for a relationship, you can set a goal of the idea of how you want your relationship to be, what you want that person to be like, how you're going to be in that relationship. It doesn't have to have a deadline. It doesn't have to be too detailed and specific, just more of an idea. And then you can just set a goal of how you want to feel with regards to things. So how you want to feel with regards to your spiritual growth, for example. You can also just set a goal of just how you want to feel. If you're feeling self-conscious or unconfident, you can set a goal and just say, I am feeling confident. And the more you read this, the more you impress that idea upon your subconscious mind, the more familiar you're going to be with that. And the more it's going to program you, and that's going to express itself through you in your thoughts, feelings, and actions to actually become reality. And now Zach is going to come back in and finish this presentation off and set us up for the next presentation.
Okay, so hello everyone. How many goals should we set? Well, really, the universe is infinite, and such is the same with this, I would say. So too many goals will cause us to lose clarity, of course. It's one thing that I've learned in my own journey recently, especially, is trying to spin too many plates at the same time, I become ineffective. Whereas if I put the whole of myself behind one thing, I can create anything. Same for any human being. We're all very powerful creators. We can create anything we want. But I can have all the goals in the world. I can have thousands of goals. But really, if I don't just put the whole of myself at one time behind one thing, I'm going to be largely ineffective, at least for me anyway, in my own personal experience. And of course, we need to know what few things are most important, and it always comes back to priorities. What are our priorities? What's most important to us as an individual at any given moment? And of course, our priorities are going to change in almost every moment at times. And of course, when we progress in one area of life, and it can change our excitement, and it can literally alter our goals and what we've set before. For example, Amazon.com, like Jeff Bezos, his original intention was a bookstore, an online bookstore where you could get any book. Today, it's a place where you can buy anything. So it's kind of like his goals shifted, and it's the same with most people's goals. Our goals can adapt and be flexible and adjust as we go along. But how many goals should we set? That really comes down to the individual. I would just always come back to the same thing. best to, instead of being scattered by having too much on your plate, just try and focus on one thing at a time. That's what I would suggest. And on the next slide, having a game plan. Now, this is going to be really tying into the second meeting that we've already done 2 weeks ago, but we'll be recapping next week. It's all getting a bit confusing at the moment, but the next meeting, we really get into more habits and forming habits, and how habits essentially basically set us up to become that version of ourselves that is achieving that goal. It's like, as Chris said before, how we should have a goal to become the person who's achieving the goal. So we want to set ourselves up and move all the barriers and all the paths of resistance so we're on the path of least resistance, where we're on this path and it's easy and it's straightforward, because we've got all these habits that we've ingrained into ourselves to be able to make achieving our goal much easier, because it's just becomes so much easier for us, and we're more effective when we have a routine as well, and we have consistency in knowing what we're doing and a plan. Essentially, you need a map you need to know where you're going in order to realize how you're going to get there. Although at the same time, that's not always the case. You can just focus on that feeling of what you want to be achieving and you'll get there anyway, but there's different ways of going about it even then. So
yeah, that's one of those beautiful things about having that really broad spectrum goal of having that, like, I just want to feel really healthy and energized, you know. And it could be like, oh, I'm going to be on a diet and I'm going to drink a certain amount every day. Those could be goals, but I just want to feel healthy and energized, and those other things will fall into place,
yeah,
you know, as you move forward. So I think that's the end. How long have we been on now?
56 minutes.
56 minutes. Okay. There is a video. I'm not sure how long that is. It's 7 minutes, so we haven't got enough time. I think this video, we'll leave this out. This is Jordan Peterson. Dare to aim for the highest good and things will come your way. Here in this video, he's talking about the Sermon on the Mount from the Bible, and how Jesus says, if you seek God first, everything else will come to you. You will not have to worry about your day-to-day things, the food do you eat, the clothes on your body, or the shelter over your head. If you seek God first, then all these things will come to you. And Jordan Peterson is taking that in a way to say, if you seek God, God is the highest ideal. God is the perfect aim. It's the highest ideal we can possibly comprehend of. So if we can define what the highest aim, the highest good we can possibly comprehend, and then seek that, everything else will come to us. So I thought I'd give that a quick overview. If you'd like to watch the full video, go and watch that. And we're now, if the people that are on this Zoom call would like to stick around for a little bit, we can ask some questions and have a little conversation about the presentation. And usually we have much more dialogue, and there's more exercises to do, and more sharing and talking. So if you'd like to be a part of that, please attend one of our meetings in the future. Just go on Meetup and look for one of our groups. It'll probably be linked below. So that is the end. Thank you. Just going to stop recording. How do I do that?